She said it at my mother's birthday dinner. Not quietly, not in the careful, private way of someone delivering difficult information to a person they love. Loudly, in front of 11 people. My mother, my aunts, my cousins, my brother-in-law, who had never particularly liked me and who smiled at his plate when she said it. Let's be honest. Rachel can't contribute. She's been broke since she left the army. She said it like it was settled, like it was simply a fact being acknowledged so that everyone could move past it and discuss the birthday plans, without the uncomfortable fiction that all of us were contributing equally. My name is Rachel. I am 43 years old. I served in the United States Army for 17 years, 2 deployments, a record I had built with the particular consistency of someone who shows up completely every single day, regardless of what it costs. I had left the Army 14 months ago. Not because I was asked to, because my mother's health had been declining, and I had made a decision, quietly, without announcing it, without expecting gratitude for it, that being present for her was more important than the next posting. I had put in my papers. I had come home. I had been here for 14 months. And in those 14 months, while my sister, Sandra, had been living 40 minutes away, visiting on holidays, sending flowers on the difficult days, I had been the one who drove my mother to appointments, who managed her medications, who sat with her on the nights when sitting with her was what she needed, who had reorganized my entire life around a woman who deserved to be reorganized around. Sandra had not done these things. Sandra had a career, a husband, a life that was full and real and genuinely demanding. I understood that. I had never asked her to do what I was doing. I had simply done it. What I had not done, and this I understand now, was the gap that Sandra had mistaken for something else, was talk about money. I do not talk about money, not because I am ashamed of it, I am not, but because money, in my family, had always been a subject that produced comparison and competition and the particular anxiety of people who measure their own worth against others. I had learned early to keep that part of my life quiet. Sandra had apparently interpreted my silence as confirmation of what she had assumed, so she had said it at dinner, in front of 11 people. Rachel can't contribute. She's broke. I looked at my sister across the birthday table. I picked up my wine glass. I took a small sip, and I said nothing. Not because I had nothing to say, because what I had to say required a different moment than this one, and I was, as 17 years of service had taught me, very good at waiting for the right moment. The birthday dinner continued. Plans were made for my mother's party. The larger celebration, the one that required a venue and catering and the particular coordination of a family event that nobody was going to enjoy organizing. Sandra took charge of this in the particular way she had always taken charge of. Visible things and loudly, confidently, with the energy of someone who understands that the person who organizes the visible things receives the credit for them. I listened. I agreed where agreement was useful. I did not mention money. Afterward, in the kitchen, while we were washing dishes, while the rest of the family was in the living room, and it was just the two of us in the particular intimacy that kitchens produce, Sandra said it again, more quietly this time, almost kindly. "I'm not trying to embarrass you," she said. "I just think we need to be realistic. You left a good salary to come home and I don't know what your situation is, but I can cover the party costs if you need me to." I dried a plate. "That's generous," I said. "I mean it," she said. "I know leaving the army was hard, and coming home to take care of Mom, that's a lot. Nobody expects you to also handle the financial side of things." I put the plate away. "What do you think my situation is?" I said. She paused. "I don't know exactly," she said. "But you've been home for over a year and I haven't seen you working and you assumed," I said. "I'm not assuming," she said. "I'm trying to help." I looked at my sister, at the particular confidence of someone who has filled a silence with a story and has come to believe the story. "I appreciate the offer," I said. "I'll let you know if I need anything." I did not tell her that night. I went home, to the small house I had bought. Quietly, 8 months after coming home, with a down payment I had made without mentioning it to anyone, I sat in my kitchen. I thought about 17 years of service. About the pension that had started the month after I separated. Monthly. Consistent. The particular financial recognition of 17 years of showing up. About the investments I had been making since my mid-30s, guided by a financial advisor who had been recommended by a colleague and who had, over 8 years, built something I had never discussed with anyone in my family because I did not discuss money with my family. About the house. About the account balance that Sandra, who had assumed, who had filled my silence with her own story, had no idea existed. I did not feel angry. I felt something quieter than anger. The particular settledness of someone who has been underestimated and who knows, with complete certainty, that the underestimation will correct itself. I gave it 3 weeks, not for the drama of it, but because the party planning was in 3 weeks and the moment would arrive naturally and I would not need to engineer anything. I simply needed to wait, and I was very good at waiting. The party planning meeting happened at Sandra's house. 8 family members around her dining room table. Venue options. Catering quotes. The particular spreadsheet Sandra had prepared, color-coded, detailed, with a column for contributions that had my name in it, and a suggested amount that was noticeably lower than everyone else's. She had not asked me. She had simply assumed. The spreadsheet was passed around. When it reached me, I looked at it for a moment. Then I looked at Sandra. "What's the total budget?" I said. She told me. "I'll cover it," I said. The table went quiet. Not the polite quiet of people processing information. The particular quiet of a room that has just recalibrated something it believed it. "Understood." Sandra looked at me. "The whole thing," she said. "The whole thing," I said. "Venue, catering, everything." "Rachel, Mom has been asking about the venue on the lake," I said. "The one she mentioned at Christmas." I looked into it. "It's available on her birthday weekend. I'd like to book it." My aunt, who had been at the birthday dinner 3 weeks ago, who had heard Sandra's comment about my situation, looked between us with an expression I recognized as the particular expression of someone watching something be corrected in real time. "Are you sure?" Sandra said. "I'm sure," I said. "But your situation—" "My situation," I said, "is that I served 17 years and I have a pension, and investments, and a house I bought 8 months ago." The table was very quiet. "I don't talk about money," I said. "That's a choice I made a long time ago. But I want to be clear. I'm not broke. I have never been broke, and I would appreciate it if that assumption was not made about me again, in front of 11 people or otherwise." Sandra looked at the spreadsheet, then at me. She did not apologize immediately. My sister is not someone who apologizes immediately. We share that, which is perhaps why we have always misunderstood each other in specific and consistent ways. But she apologized eventually, that evening, on the phone, in the particular way of someone who has spent several hours processing something and has arrived, honestly, at the understanding that they were wrong. "I filled in your silence," she said, "with something that wasn't true. And I said it out loud in front of people, and that was wrong." "Yes," I said. "It was." "Why didn't you ever tell us?" she said. "Because I don't talk about money," I said. "And because I didn't think I needed to. I thought the work spoke for itself." "I should have asked," she said, "instead of assumed." "Yes," I said. "You should have." The party was at the venue on the lake. My mother cried when she saw it. The good kind of crying. The particular overwhelmed gratitude of someone who has been seen completely and given something they did not expect. She did not know that evening the conversation that had preceded it. She simply knew that her daughters had planned something beautiful. That is how I wanted it. Sandra and I are different people. We have always been different people, and we will continue to be different people. But we are more honest with each other now, in the particular way of 2 women who have had a real conversation and come out the other side of it with a clearer view of each other. She asks now. Instead of assuming, I tell. Instead of being silent in ways that can be misread, Here is what a birthday dinner and a spreadsheet and a venue on the lake taught me. Silence is powerful, but silence has a cost. When you choose not to speak, you leave space for other people to fill with their own stories. And sometimes their stories are smaller than you are. You do not have to announce yourself, but you do not have to disappear either. My sister said I was broke. My army pension proved her wrong. And the venue on the lake, booked quietly, paid completely. On a weekend my mother had mentioned once at Christmas, said everything else.